Hey everybody, it's Pax. Today we're going to do a quick Arkham draft and run it through Night of the Zealot. I've never played draft decks on the channel, and I think it's a really cool format that I would really highly encourage everyone to try out. We're going to go ahead with no taboo, but I'm actually going to keep positive taboos like Scroll of Secrets and Winchester. We're going to use the whole card pool. You have this expand button that you can select the things you want, but we're going to use the whole card pool. We're going to use two random investigators, which I haven't selected yet. Myriad cards will be a ×3 take, and we're going to do the standard 3-card draft. So let's get going by selecting random up here for our first investigator. We're getting Sister Mary, already off to a great start. So what have we got? On the Hunt, Armageddon, Safeguard. Armageddon's a reasonable fight tool against the first scenario. It's not great in the second scenario, but in the first scenario, it's fine. And I don't know what's going on yet. It is a combat icon. I feel like On the Hunt is a very risky take too early in the picks. And similarly, Safeguard might just be unnecessary. It's very good for scenario 2, but I feel like Armageddon, making sure you've got enough combat availability in Sister Mary is probably pretty important. We'll give it a go. A Machete, David Renfield, and Scrying Mirror. I feel like Machete is just kind of too easy. Too hard to pass up, excuse me. Not too easy to pass up. David Renfield would be really nice with the Armageddon, but I think we'll go ahead with the Machete. Okay. Read the Signs. That's also all right in this campaign. Beat Cop's pretty good. Get Over Here is not great. I think we're going to go ahead with Sister Mary and try to focus on combat as best we can and hope that we get another... No, you see, the problem is I don't know who my other character is, so I do have to get a bit of cluing. So I'll take a Read the Signs and hope not to regret that. I think we're definitely taking a Chain of Blade. Delve Too Deep, Heroic Rescue, Arcane Initiate. One thing I didn't mention is that I'm also going to do the upgrades via the drafting. And so, Delve Too Deep gets us more XP with which to draft upgrades. And I kind of like that. But Arcane Initiate also lets us dig for spells, and we've already got 2 spells. And we didn't take that Beat Cop, so I'm going to take the Arcane Initiate. Desperate Search, that's never firing, so we're not taking that. St. Hubert's Key is not the worst. It's not the worst. Scene of the Crime, though, seems very good. Yeah, we'll take that. Delay the Inevitable, Ethereal Form, or Shriveling. Well, Ethereal Form is actually surprisingly effective for her in terms of getting away from an enemy. But I don't know that. That's like a tech for like one of the cultists in Midnight Masks. We're getting to the site, but we'll take the Shriveling. A Ward of Radiance, an Inspiring Presence, or an Olive McBride. I think I go for the Ward of Radiance on this one. Sword Cane, See You in Hell. I think I'll take the Sword Cane. That seems reasonable. Rite of Seeking is also fine. Arcane Studies is a bit bummery. We would like to see a physical trading instead, I believe. And Meditative Trance is like okay in lieu of an ally. So we'll pick that up. Flesh Ward's quite good as defensively, but Fearless is a good commit for horror healing. All of these are not great. These are not good options. I'm going to pick up a Shroud of Shadows. Once again, not great options. I'm going to pick up an Arcane Studies because that seems like the most useful of them. I think a Promise of Power goes a long way with what I've got so far. A Rite of Seeking is also quite good. But I think a Promise of Power helping me pass some tests is really nice. I think similarly, a Dark Prophecy helping me pass some tests is nice. So how many cards are we at? We're at the halfway point. How are we feeling about this deck so far? Not great, I don't think. This is looking pretty beat. A Sledgehammer is not the worst in terms of a little bit more fighting. A Second Wind is also all right as a follow-up to failing a not Rotting Remains, Grasping Hands. But I already have in Meditative Trance, and I don't want to go too hard into healing. I would like to be able to pass stuff. And so I think I'm going to go ahead with the Sledgehammer. And hope that's not a mistake. I think the Keen Eye is not good. The Ritual Candles is currently not good. I think it's safe to say that this is not good in this deck at the moment. So we'll go with the Glory. All of these are not very good. But again, I think in the interest of making sure I have a way to fight, the Thompson is okay. Now I'm definitely at a point where I'm going to be forced to take some bad picks, and some of the things that I want might not show up. I think a Flashlight is fine here. I think a Spectral Razor is maybe essential here. But what I really desperately need is some money. A Crystal Pendulum is fine. Tempt Fate is probably quite good. But none of these, it's free. Yeah, none of these are great. None of these are great. A Heroic Rescue might be okay as if there's a big horror attack happening, but it's rough. It's the icons that I'm taking this for. I think an Unexpected Courage goes a long way here. I think an Emergency Cash goes a long way here. I think there's a chance that another Arcane Initiate is okay. I think the Trench Knife is junk. I gotta take a Clairvoyance on that one. Prophesy. See, I've never hated Prophesy, but I certainly don't love it. I think a Tides of Fate might not be the worst thing in the world. It is a wild like Prophesy at less than 3 Doom. And it can help me recover from a bad hit of my weakness. So let's grab that. Monster Slayer is bad, and Enraptured is bad. We'll take an Olive. I think that an Arcane Research is not great. I didn't ever get a Rite of Seeking off of this, and so that's not good. That's quite bad, actually. I think an On the Hunt isn't unreasonable. It's not great, but it's not unreasonable. Okay. So this deck title is going to be called a very not so good Merry Draft. I think that was a problem. So we'll just do a basic weakness draw. Paranoia. That's pretty bad. We'll export that as an OAD Octagon file. We'll X that out. We'll restart, and we'll get our next character. Minty Fan. Whew. That's pretty good, I think, actually. I think that's a pretty good follow-up to that. She might be able to carry this pretty good if I can get some good picks off. Dark Horse isn't the worst. Peter's not the worst. Higher Education is not the worst. These are all fine. The question is, do I go hard in on Dark Horse right away? Because that seems like it could be rough. Or do I just pick up an easy Higher Education and just crush some tests once in a while? I think with Icons, I already crush tests. I think Dark Horse maybe is a nice one of. We'll pick that up. Crack the Case seems obvious for some money. Celiano Fragments and Archive of Conduits or Fortuitous Discovery. Well, I think the Archive of Conduits just straight up doesn't get solved in this campaign. A Fortuitous Discovery is a little rough because I pretty much need to get a Forced Learning to be able to discard these effectively. I like a Celiano Fragments. I'll pick that up. Dream Enhancing Serum. Well, that could be really rough if I don't get a lot of duplicates. Tempted to take I've Got a Plan as a backup attack. Because I should get a bunch of cluing stuff from the draft. So we'll take that I've Got a Plan. Burning the Midnight Oil. Gravedigger Shovel, Eldritch Sophist. Take the oil. We will take the Preposterous Sketches or the No Stone Unturned. Ooh. I think the Archive of Conduits is just strictly off limits for us right now. Let's think about this. More cards or a search? A search that can go on Sister Mary, too. Plus the wild icon. I think that's okay. Tempted by the Cryptographic Cipher. Tempted by that. That seems okay. I think the Hawkeye folding camera is too fragile, but I think the Cypher can be made to work. Okay, Guts. Pretty good. That's pretty good. I take a Guts. I think I take a second cryptographic cipher. Okay, resourceful. I've taken currently 0 survivor cards except for the Dark Horse, and I think it's just kind of not that good. So we'll take an overpower to commit to Mary. I think a Schaffner's catalog isn't the worst thing in the world. I do kind of want to pop open that Mary deck list to get an idea of how many items I have over there. I don't think there are actually that many. But it does pay for these so far, and so it's not fully wasted. I guess Charles kind of does too and fills an ally slot. It just takes longer to get the money off. This goes right away. So maybe I do take the Schaffner's catalog. Yeah, we'll take that. The Sledgehammer is quite bad, I think, in this deck. I'll go ahead and take... Ooh, we're getting pretty close to, like, not needing more money. If we grab that. Take a disc, that seems pretty good. We'll take a magnifying glass, that seems pretty good. We'll take a plan of action, that's pretty good. Mind over matter, very tempting. Yeah, we'll take that. Grit Your Teeth is quite bad, I think. I think Unearth the Ancients is a double intellect icon. It's not great otherwise, but it's a double intellect icon, and we'll take those. I think that Flashlight's not unreasonable. I think Fight or Flight is pretty good, but we've taken a lot of combat picks based on the idea of Mary not being that great of a combatant, and this also has no icons. But if we can get some horror cracked up on us, then she can just do some evades straight up, or some punches if she needs to. Yeah, we'll take that. I think that a Beloved is quite good. I think that another Overpower is quite good. I think that... Ooh, that's tricky. Secrets from Truth or Fiction, but a double intellect icon, or Predestined with this stuff going on. That's tricky. I think that I'm thinking that the Truth or Fiction, I need some more intellect icons there. Cryptic Grimoire, probably not happening. Okay, we're going through this one a lot quicker, and I'm getting some junky cards, I think. We'll take the Emergency Cash. Hope not to regret that. I think we'll take the Encyclopedia. Yeah. Drawing things too good to pass up. We'll take an Act of Desperation. That's pretty good with the Cipher. We'll take a second Mind Over Matter. That's pretty good in general. Do we take the Research Librarian just for soak at all, or for Live and Learn to go a bit faster? Fetching the Encyclopedia is not the worst thing in the world when I have this much money, right? An Encyclopedia can help Mary actually kill the Ghoul Priest. That might be how I get past this first scenario. So we're going to take a Research Librarian. I've got too much in my hands. That's a shame. That is a shame. Yeah, that's a little frustrating. I think we'll take the Reckless Assault, just on the off chance that that pays off. I think the Inquiring Mind is necessary, and I think that Unexpected Courage feels necessary. And this is going to be called a slightly less very bad min deck. We'll do our basic weakness, Haunted. Those are both from the core set, and we'll export it as an Octagon file. We'll get those in Arkham DB, and we'll get them sent into Tabletop Simulator. Alright, so we've got our very not so good Mary draft. Taking a look at this again, it's not good, I think. I think this is pretty bad. I think it's safe to say that this is not a good deck. That being said, I think it'll be actually maybe okay. The Flashlight helps a little bit. The Glory gets us through some card draws. We actually have quite a bit of combat. Armageddon, Shriveling, Sledge, Thompson, Sword Cane, Machete. That's like 6 cards to deal with combat. A Spectral Razor. There's a fair amount in here. And Enchanted Blade. I don't think I counted that. So there's a lot going on that regard. But the rest of the deck doesn't really support it that well, I think, so we'll see what happens there. And then, of course, we've got a slightly less Varipad Min deck, which has got a very congested hand slot, and we'll be looking to upgrade away from some of these. Probably the cryptographic ciphers. They were just, you know, a combination of flashlights and action compression if I have good commits, but I didn't get a lot of good commits. The Acquire Mind's fine, the Plan of Action's fine, the Unexpected Courage is fine, but otherwise I took some overpowers to help with Mary in combat. So I think there's going to be quite a bit of babysitting going on, despite the fact that there's a lot of combat stuff in here. All these combat cards, except for Fight or Flight, have icons that I can send to Mary. So let's get these into TTS and see what happens. Alright, I think we all know Knight of the Zealot needs no introduction. We're going to be playing on Standard. We do our setup, and we head right into the scenario. So we'll do our opening hand for Min. She gets 5 cards. Get rid of that. Get that. Reckless Assault, I want to put that away. The Disc is fine, but it's not great. I'd rather get other stuff. The Guts is fine. It's not great. I'd rather get other stuff. The Beloved is fine, not great. I'd rather get other stuff. The No Stoned is... No Stoned. The No Stone Unturned is actually probably okay. So we'll just do 4. Okay, a Truth or Fiction, a Cryptographic Cipher, Act of Desperation to toss it. Yeah, we'll take that. Then over here on Sister Mary, she gets 5 cards, a Flashlight, an Olive, a Read the Signs, an Arcane Studies. We're going to just get rid of all of this, I think, except for maybe the Olive McBride. I think the Olive McBride is the only thing we're keeping because it is an ally. Sledgehammer will have to do. Armageddon, Glory, and a Sword Cane can also do. Our 3 Doom, our 4 Clues, our bag with -X is the number of ghouls, -1 if you fail, take a horror, -2 if there's a ghoul at your location, take a damage. And we begin playing the study. The door to your study has vanished. So we'll go ahead with Min first. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 for the cryptographic cipher in play. But we're not going to bother with committing to some of these. We're just going to go 4 against 2. It's successful. And then 4 against 2. That's a fail. So we get 1 clue off the location. As for Sister Mary, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2. Ooh, what's better? The Sledgehammer's testing for 5? And I think that's actually okay. Maybe we just don't play anything because we've got the Sword Cane. Yeah, I think that's correct, actually. I'm going to take a draw action first. There should be 2 in there right now. And then we remove them and add 2 bless. Excuse me, 2 curse. So that's pretty easy. We'll take another draw action. And I think we will... I never actually spent anything. I think we'll go ahead and we'll... the Initiate's a little tricky. Yeah, what are we going to do? I think I want to get thing down. So let's go ahead and get the... Let's get the Armageddon down. Welver's Curse is in the bag. Let's just play it. Upkeep for Min. She gets a Fight or Flight. Upkeep for Sister Mary. She gets a Promise of Power. 1 out of 3 Doom. And countercard for Min is a Grasping Hands. Test 3. For each point you fail by, take a damage. Well, don't have any icons for that, really. We could put the No Stone Unturned, but I think I'd like to save that. I could get to 4. Yeah, I think I will just commit this and add an icon. 4 against 3. -2, so take 1 damage. And then for Sister Mary, she gets a Crypt Chill. Test 4 against 4. I think we'll put the Promise of Power into this. Don't want to lose this Armageddon stupidly. Elder Sign. I was supposed to add a Bless to the bag at the end of the round. I've played her so seldom. We succeed and add a Bless to the bag. We're going to do a draw action for Min. First action. Let's crack the case. Okay, that's pretty good. We're going to do a 4 against 2. An auto fail on that. And then a 4 against 2. And a -1 for a clue. And you know what? I think we're going to use the cipher and commit this Truth from Fiction per round for 6 against 3. A -none. So, another clue. And now over on Sister Mary, I think that we're going to be spending some time taking resources. We're going to do 1 draw for Scene from the Crime, and then we're going to take 2 resources. Because we can play the Sword Cane reactively, and I'd like to play the Initiate next turn during the Witching Hour. Okay, so upkeep for Min. Magnifying Glass, that's pretty good. And an upkeep for Sister Mary. Tempt Fate, that's also quite good. At the end of the round, add that Blessed token. We're now at 3-3, I believe. As a reminder, we've got 3 of the clues necessary. 2 out of 3. Counter card for Min is the Flesh Eater, who unfortunately just discards because there is no attic in play. And then Sister Mary, an Obscuring Fog. The location gets +2 Shroud. That should be pretty easy to deal with, I think. So I think we're going to have Min go first. So she's going to pop this down into play for 1. She is going to investigate as a free triggered ability with this. She's going to be 5 against 5 currently. Sister Mary is going to commit a glory, and we're going to use Min's ability after an investigator location commits a card to a skill test that gets +1 wild icon until the end of the test. So we're 8 against 5, and we'll see what happens. A -0, so we get that clue. Importantly, the Obscuring Fog actually falls off first. This is after it's successfully investigated, which is step 6, so that's gone. Then in reaction to getting that final clue, we're going to play this Crack the Case for 3 resources distributed. Because of the +1 Shroud here, that persists for the entire investigation. We're going to take 1 ourselves. We're going to pass 2 over on the Sister Mary. We're just going to go ahead and advance the act right away. Put into play to set aside a hallway, cellar, attic, and parlor. Discard each enemy in the study. Place each investigator in the hallway. Remove the study from the game. And we're here in the hallway. I do think we're going to take an action to draw. We did have to spend all these, by the way. Important to note. We're going to take that draw. And I think we're going to even move a location up to the attic. After you enter the attic, you take a horror. 1 shroud, 4 clues. She'll just pop that on herself. Now for Sister Mary, we are going to play the Arcane Initiate. We're going to immediately use her to look at the top 3 cards of the deck for a spell and add it to our hand. Nice to dodge that paranoia while we have that much money. Very good. We are going to play for 1, 2, 3 the Sledgehammer. I think we're just going to do that now that we're kind of a bit more set up. In the interest of everything cohering nicely, we're just going to move up with her and take a horror. Get upkeep on Min, emergency cash, and upkeep on Mary, meditative's trance. Ooh, that's pretty good. We reach our doom threshold. We advance. The lead investigator, which is Min, either discards a card at random from his or her hand or takes 2 horror. I think that ultimately this hand, I'm not married to it, so we'll just discard a card at random. Act of Desperation's a bit crummy, but not the worst thing in the world. We get our 7 doom threshold and we get our encounter cards. It is a Rotting Remains. I'm okay with testing 4 against 3. That's okay. -2, 1 horror. And then for Sister Mary, we get a Grasping Hands. For each point you fail by, take a damage. This one's actually pretty nasty. I do kind of wish that I had an icon aside from this Tempt Fate. But that's okay. I think we'll put it in there, and we'll even take the extra icon from Min, being at 5 against 3. A Bless token and a -1. So we pass that, and we remove a Bless from the bag. Great. During the test, let's just do the Arcane Initiate as well. Yeah, we'll add that. Oh, I guess we could have added an icon that wasn't the Tempt Fate. All right, Min, let's do our thing. We'll use our last Cipher charge. Nope, last Cipher Secret to test 4 against 2. Actionlessly. +1, that's one of the clues. And then we'll do 3 tests, just investigating 4 against 1 a bunch of times. That's a clue. That's a clue. And that's a clue. By 4 against 1, I did mean 5 because I had the magnifying glass. Then for Sister Mary, there's a bit of a thing going on where like she doesn't have the greatest willpower. I wouldn't mind more icons to get my willpower boosted. But I think we are going to go ahead and play for 1, 2, 3. That Shroud of Shadows. I think an Evade could be useful to have here. We are going to take a resource and then draw a card. Last action. Probably a mistake. Oh, Thompson. That's fine. Okay. Upkeep on Min for an Analytical Mind. Got to get that into play. Then an upkeep for Sister Mary is a Machete. That's fine. It's not essential because of the Sledgehammer now. We'll get 1 out of 7 Doom. Get our encounter card for Min is a Obscuring Fog. That's a gimme. And then for Sister Mary is a Frozen of Fear. Put it in the play in your threat area. Well, hopefully she can pass that. Not too long before that gets passed. Before the turn start, we'll use the Arcane Initiate to look for a spell. We do not get one. It's okay. So for min, we're going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3 to play the analytical mind over here. We're going to move, and then we're going to move. Boom, boom. Heading to the cellar, taking a damage. And then for Sister Mary, we're going to do 2 actions to take a move, and then we're going to take a move. 1, 2, 1 damage incoming. And I think we're just going to take that on the chin. Then we have to test the Frozen in Fear, just 4 against 1. I did forget an add a Bless token, and I'm just going to do that now. And then we're going to Frozen in Fear test 4 against 3. A curse for -2, so 2 against 3. Another curse for 0 against 3. And a 0. So we do get to remove 2 curses. That's kind of nice. End of the round, we get our upkeep for Burning the Midnight Oil. We get our upkeep over here for an Enchanted Blade. And then we'll add a Bless token to the bag. 2 out of 7 Doom. Counter card for Min is a Rotting Remains. 4 against 3. Tempting to put the Dark Horse into this. Very tempting. But I think we'll just eat it. Ooh, the -4. Yeah, that was a mistake not to do. And for Sister Mary, she gets an Ancient Evils. 3 Doom out of 7. Get that discarded. Okay, so for Min here, what we're going to do is we're going to go 1, 2, 3 to play the Dark Horse. We're going to investigate 4, 5, 6, 7, triggering Analytical Mind for a card draw. Yep, against 4. I could play this just to use the money up, but I don't think I will. I think I'll save that and play a Schaffner's Catalog next turn. Ah, the autofail. Man, she's pulled a lot of autofails. And then she'll just try again, 5 against 4. A Bless and a -2, so that's a pass. Great. Get a clue off that location. Okay, over on Sister Mary, I think we'll spend 2 to get one of the clues. Seems reasonable. And then we're just going to take some money. Actually, maybe we'll take $1 and then we'll Meditative Trance to heal these up. Did I use my Arcane Initiate? I guess not. Huh? 2, 3. I'll take that Spectral Razor. That's pretty good. Gonna need that for the Ghoul Priest, I think. That's some damage that I'll need to deal. And then we test this Frozen in Fear. Again, we're just 4 against 3. -0, so that's gone. Upkeep for Min gets us a new Cipher. And upkeep for Sister Mary gets us an On the Hunt and a Bless token after the round ends. 4 out of 7 Doom. Counter card for Min is a Ghoul Minion. Alright. Finally, we're seeing some enemies, and the scene of the crime should have been saved. And then a counter card for Sister Mary is an Ancient Evils. 5 out of 7. Okay, so I guess the thing is that I don't have any icons to actually get rid of this guy, but I do have the Fight or Flight, but I kind of want to save the Fight or Flight for punching the Ghoul Priest, I feel like, and evading him. So we're going to have Sister Mary do something super risky and take a Sledgehammer swing. I think we're going to commit some icons, though. We're not playing the Machete. So we're going to swing with the Sledgehammer for the -1 and +1 damage. This is going to get committed for 2 icons to bring us up to 4. And this is going to get committed for 2 icons, getting us up to 6 against 2. And we'll save Min's icon bonus for herself for next turn. +1. Great. So that's gone. This guy's gone. And then she gets a card to draw from Overpower into a Mind Over Matter. So that's pretty good. That's a successful turn, I think. I think that from beyond this, we'll just use this just in case. Yeah, a Clairvoyance is a good thing to have. We'll just take some money. We're going to play On the Hunt next turn so that we don't get another Ancient Evils or Treachery. That's going to slow us down, I think. And then back over to Min. She's going to, first action for 2 resources, play a Schaffner's Catalog. That's got a whole bunch of stuff on it. Now she's got her Dark Horse. She's actually 6 against 4. She's going to investigate 6, 7, 8 against 4. We're not going to play this, I don't think. Ooh, are we going to play that? Yeah, I think we're going to play that instead. Yeah, we're going to play that instead. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 and play that. I should have done that, but 1, 2, 3. So we're going to investigate 4, 5, 6 against 4. Last action, 6 against 4. -1, that's a clue. And I think we'll save this in case we get another int icon off the deck. That seems okay. I did commit a card to I did commit a card to Sister Mary's Test. I'm going to take that draw now. Inquiring Mind. Okay. I am gonna cryptographic cipher. I'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 against 5. 0 for the last clue. All right, and we've got our victory secured so far. So we get upkeep for Min, Ciliano fragments. An upkeep for Sister Mary is going to be an Arcane Initiate and a Blessed token. But let's think about what to get rid of. I think this Clairvoyance is maybe the worst. Yeah, this Clairvoyance is a bad icon. Okay, 6 out of 7. Countercard for Min is going to be a Rotting Remains. Have to commit something over here from Sister Mary, so let's put the Arcane Initiate in and we'll get the bonus icon. So we'll be 6 against 3. 6 against 3. Okay, good. Very good. And then we'll do an On the Hunt with Sister Mary. Top 9 cards for an enemy spawned engaged with you. Shuffle the encounter deck. So let's look at the top 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Icy Ghoul is pretty tempting. A Rats is pretty tempting. But this is a VP, and I kind of want to get the VP. But at the same time, the Ghoul Priest is probably going to be a big problem for us, and we kind of need to conserve our effort for him. So I think I'm just going to take a Rat, which is maybe a little disappointing. But anyways, let's look at the top 3 here. Once again, dodge this Paranoia. That's kind of crazy. We'll go with Sister Mary first. I think we just use an Armageddon charge. That seems reasonable to be 4 against 1. And see what happens with that. A 4 against 1 is like not bad at all. A -1, so he's just dead. Perfect. We'll head up into the center location. We might even draw a card for more icons, I think, at this point. Okay, no icons. Okay, so Min is going to move up to the central location. Right there. And she's also going to just draw some cards. A Research Librarian. Ooh, that's really good. I wish I had a buck to play him. I was going to not take a buck next turn with the Dark Horse so that I could fight or flight and do all the dodges and some punches on the Ghoul Priest, but we'll just do another card draw, I think. Ooh, an Encyclopedia. Oh, 2 cards I just want to play. Bugger. Okay, we get our upkeep for Drawing Fin. Good icons there, and we get an upkeep for Sister Mary for a Crystal Pendulum. Also get to add a Blessed token. I have been forgetting this. I'm going to be killing myself in the post. And then when the round ends, we can spend the requisite number of clues. I don't think the number of clues that remain on our characters matters too much, so I'll just click that and spend all of them. The barrier blocking the parlor is vanished. Reveal the parlor. Put the set-aside lead a Chandler enemy into play in the parlor. Spawn the set-aside Ghoul Priest in the hallway. So here's what happens, and then this guy spawns and immediately engages Sister Mary. Woohoo. End of round, we get our last Doom. This advances. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a Ghoul enemy is discarded. The lead investigator draws that enemy. Bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. We knew this was going to happen. Okay. Okay. A Ghoul onto Min. Fine. Notably, the skulls are -2s right now. So then we get encounter cards. Min gets Grasping Hands. That kind of sucks. I don't think she's playing the Research Librarian, so we'll just commit him to be 3-on-3 to avoid how much damage we take. I did intend to not take money off of the Dark Horse, so I should only be at 1 right now. So that's a -1 if you fail to take a horror, so I actually take that. That sucks. And then Sister Mary gets a Crypt Chill. We'll just test 4-on-4 because we can afford to lose the initiate. We will do a final look for a spell. We'll take the Tides of Fate. That's fine. And then we'll just test that. -4, so we lose the initiate. Which is a good bit of soak, which is a bit bummer, but I think that's okay. So I think that Mary is going to play a Spectral Razor on the Ghoul. Really hoping to free up Min's turn a bit. A 7 against 2. And he's dead. Pretty good. Would have liked to have gotten this Pendulum out ahead of time. I think we're going to play the Tides of Chaos and replace all the curses with blesses to make this turn a bit less scary for me. And then after that, I think we're just taking some hits against the Ghoul Priest as best we can. So, does have Retaliate, which could be a pretty big problem. I think we're just using the Sledgehammer to try and get as high a value as we can. That will bring us up to 5. This will bring us up to 6, 7 by getting Min's icon in there. And I'm a little worried that I can't afford to go any higher than that. I do have blesses in the bag, so let's just try for it. Yeah, there we go. So we get 3 damage off on that. That's pretty good. That's a good start, I think. 3 damage is definitely a good start. I think Min is going to go try and get Lita. So she's going to take a move action, putting her over here. She does have this parlay of 4. So I think she's going to spend 1 on a Mind Over Matter to get her boost from the Dark Horse. And then she's going to commit this Celiano Fragments. That'll put her at 4, 5, 6, 7. Drawing a card from this. I've got a plan. So she'll have 2 clues, obviously, because like that's the more the excess that I spent. 7 against 4 to pick up Lita. A bless and a -1. That's pretty good. So we get Lita, and then we'll head back over. And that, fortunately, is a big chunk of health and sanity as well. That this 6 out of 7 is a bit less scary. So now we're going to be killing the Ghoul Priest off pretty quick, I think. The Ghoul Priest hits Sister Mary for 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of sucks. We get an upkeep on Min for Plan of Action. That's pretty good. And then we get an upkeep on Sister Mary for a Heroic Rescue. That's fine. At the end of the round, you place a Doomless Agenda for each ghoul enemy in the hallway or parlor. So boom, and then boom at the start of the round. And we get upkeep for Min. Encounter card for Min is a Rotting Remains. Testing 4 against 3 will commit a Drawing Thin and an Encyclopedia to be 6 against 3, I think. I would like to be higher up than that, but I feel like I kind of can't afford to. Oh, I would not have taken a resource because of the Dark Horse. I don't have anything to play. I'm going to be punching with a Fight or Flight. And so I guess I'll be at 4, 5, 6, 7 against 3. A bless and a -1. I forgot to add a bless, so I'll just not do that. So that's pretty good. And then for Sister Mary, she gets a ghoul minion, but hopefully this is not going to matter. Okay, so for Min, oh right, the Fight or Flight is why I would have taken a resource. Well, I messed that up. That's okay. We'll just go ahead with Sister Mary first and see if Min can finish him off with an I've got a plan. So, Sister Mary, how many can you commit from a willpower perspective? You can commit 1, 2, 3, 4 with this Armageddon for 2 damage. And then we can swing with the Sledgehammer to swing for 3 more. If that hits, then we're good. I hate leaving that up to the way that is. But I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do an Armageddon charge. We're going to commit 1, 2, 3, 4 to that. Let me think. Yeah, we'll conserve 1 and use Min's icon to test 8 against 4 with the Armageddon. 2 damage. And then we'll swing with the Sledgehammer. More damage than that, right? Oh, and then the Sledgehammer, if it hits, then we're good. Right, because of Lita Chandler. Yes, okay. So we're at 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 from Lita, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bam, okay. So he's squished. And then we advance the act. We can either get a mental trauma and get Lita on Min, or we can say bugger off. Anyways, we're going to burn our home down. That's no problem. And in doing so, I was at the wrong page. In doing so, we record our house is burned down. We add Lita Chandler to a deck. We'll have a think about who that goes to. We suffer mental trauma from watching our home become a smoldering ruin on Min, and we each get 2 bonus XP. Which means we got a total of 6 XP, which isn't the maximum, but it's pretty acceptable for these 2 decks, I think. They performed a lot better than I thought they would. I'm going to carry on with a separate video for Midnight Masks and the draft leading up to that, because it's quite late where I am, and I'm not feeling the greatest. So I'll see you next time. Thanks very much. Ciao.